Welcome back, guys. I have finally unlocked the Fire Cape after 6 attempts and roughly 12 hours of me dying to simple mistakes and otherwise misclicks. I now have the second best melee cape in the game, giving +4 strength and +2 prayer, along with minor stats in attack and defense. And so instead of a recap on what I've done, I've decided to make a guide on the fight caves and Jad. Most guides I read and saw left out simple things that can max your proficiency and potion consumption. But I've devised a sweet and simple little guide to help new players like myself who never got the chance to fight Jad in RuneScape 2 or even fight him in Old School. So let's start with the gear and requirements. You'll need 70 ranged, 70 defense, 70 hit points, and 44 prayer. The 70 range is to wield a dragon crossbow and blessed d'hide. That's also what the 70 defense will help. But with 70 defense, it should be a little bit easier for you to dodge the smaller monsters' attacks. The 44 prayer is for all protects and eagle eye. You're going to want to complete Horror from the Deep to obtain a god book for +5 prayer, an amulet of glory, Ava's accumulator from animal magnetism, 500 to 600 runite bolts, and a graphite ring. These are all your base equipment that will give you a bunch of prayer points so you won't be chugging all the time. But if you have the GP too, please upgrade. The Grand Exchange prices can vary all the time, but this should roughly cost you around 2 million GP. For your inventory, you're going to want 10 Ceradomin brews along with 3 super restores and 1 regular restore potion, just in case you take damage or can't switch prayers fast enough. Plus, the super restores give you 21 prayer points back along with buffing you after you suffer the debuffs from the Ceradomin brew. Bring a kind 13 prayer potions and a bastion potion for an extra ranged bonus if need be, or you can swap it for another prayer potion or Ceradomin brew. This should all net around 300,000 GP. Now let's move on to the strategies. The fight caves have 5 spawns and 1 area where nothing spawns. So you're going to want to stay in this area and safe spot all monsters that you can. You won't be able to safe spot all the monsters, but the ones that spawn on the top left and bottom right can all be safe spotted. I suggest at later rounds to stay over in this exit zone so everything will clip onto the walls around Claw Rock and Italy Rock. The type of monsters you'll face. The bats, they'll steal your prayer points by 1 each time they hit you. The blobs and their mini blobs are kind of like fodder. Just take them out whenever you need to. The rangers, they'll use their range attacks. The melees will use their melee attacks. They'll heal themselves and others if they are close to them and or attacking you. The mages, guess what? They'll use magic attacks. Jad, he'll try to kill you. Jad's healers will get you killed. Now that all that's clear, let's move on to the waves. Wave 1 through 30 is your beginner rounds. You're going to want to have ranged as your quick prayer. These rounds aren't hard, but they give you a taste of what the fight caves are like. Kill the bats first before other monsters, and pray for range or safe spot the melee guys. Later at wave 22, you're going to have to deal with a melee and ranger spawn at the same time. Either try to safe spot the melee at one of the rocks or on the back of the ranger and take out the ranger first, since it saves you some prayer. Wave 31 through 52 will be your intermediate rounds, and it's either going to make or break you. Make sure to have Protect from Magic as your quick prayer from now on. At round 31, the mage will spawn, and I nicknamed him the Magic Man. At wave 38, a ranger and a mage will spawn. If you can try to single one of them and take them out one by one, this will be an ideal move. But you'll never want to pray ranged over magic. Waves 53 through 62 are the hard waves. At wave 53, the mage, ranger, and melee will spawn. Try to trap one at a time or take on the mage and melee or melee and range to avoid taking unnecessary damage. Wave 60, 2 rangers and a melee plus mage will spawn. If you're lucky, the melee and mage will spawn behind the walls and you can take them on one at a time. If not, you have to use your best judgment and not panic to stay alive. 61 is not too hard. Kill the melees, then kill the mage. 62 is your last wave until Jad. Make sure to keep an eye on the orange magic man, so you know where Jad will spawn. After killing both mages, protect from range right away, since you don't know what Jad's attack will be. Jad has 3 attacks: a melee, which is almost instant, a ranged attack, which doesn't make any sound until the boulder falls from the ceiling, and a magic attack, which sounds like a fireball. For the ranged attack, Jad will stomp on the ground. For the magic attack, Jad will rear up on his hind legs and let out a fireball. So make sure to pray as soon as you see this action. If you need to use a prayer potion, Saradomin Brew, or Bastion potion, make sure to use it right after Jad's attacks, and pray the right prayers to avoid being one-shot by his abilities. Once Jad gets to 150 health, which is his halfway point, this is when the real fight begins. 4 healers will spawn in, and they will try to heal Jad all the way back up to full health. As soon as they spawn, apply Steel Skin and shoot them all. Then once they are all stacked onto you, either kill them if they haven't healed Jad back up to full HP, or as soon as Jad uses the attack, pray the right prayer, then pray melee and run through him to get all the rats to stick to him. Then continue killing him and picking off a rat if they get around him. If they heal them to full health and you kill them all, they will respawn, so be wary of that. After the rats are dealt with, it's smooth sailing from there. Just keep praying and drinking at the right time, and you'll end up with a fire cape, same as me. I just hope it's not your 6th try like mine. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this guide helps you out, and you can tackle this on your first try, unlike me. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and if you want to comment down below, I'd like to know, how many tries did it take you to beat the fight caves in Jad? But yeah, with that, I'll see you next time. Peace.